Okay, I guess I see Dave's on, so then we have to do Musa. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry, Dave. It's too late. 10:09 already. Oh, now he left. Okay. Okay, so let's go. So we're on Gimel Amud Beis. Does somebody call me if you lose me? Please call me. We're discussing the Gemara. We're discussing the Gemara of where the whole sugya started from the guy who has to, he gets married and then he wait a year and then he does the second stage of marriage called nisuin, and he's supposed to start feeding his wife from when they made up to get married, and she could also start eating truma. But if there's an einus, then he doesn't. Then depending what type of einus, then he will or will not have to. And then we said by gittin, if he says he's making a get from now and he doesn't come for a year or whatever, a month, whichever the scenario is, and for some reason he doesn't make it there, it's einus. So we had said that Rava holds. Was it Rava? Yeah. Rava holds that there's no, we don't care about the einus, and if he doesn't come, he doesn't come. Because he should have made a tanai. He should have made a tanai in the get, that if he's an einus and he doesn't get there, then it should not count. But since he didn't, so it's a problem. But we didn't have a source for where Rava gets his din from. Right, so that's where we were holding. That's where we were holding in the sugya. So, so where was it? Ella Rava, 3 lines up in the bottom, right? I think that's what we got up to. 3 lines up in the bottom, beis of a beis. Yeah, that's what we're up to. Yeah, Ella Rava, right? We always said the rule with Ella means it's a new teretz, right? So Ella Rava svara denafshei kama. Rava was going with his own svara, mishum tnuas and mishum prutzas, which is quite an interesting svara how this works. That's because of the women that are too from and the women that are not so from, right? Mishum tnuas. So because it's tnuas diyamrit lo get, because if you're going to tell them that it's not a get because the guy was an einus and he didn't come back, now on Amud Aleph, zimnin deloy honest. Sometimes he's not going to be an einus and he didn't show up, and therefore they're divorced. The savra the honest, and she's going to think that he was an einus, and she's not going to want to get married to anybody because she's going to think that he was an einus and the get is no good, right? The savra, not that it's just not a get, but savra the honest, and she's going to make herself into an aguna. The yasvan, she's going to sit. So that's one chashash. And then you have the other type of women, the amrit loyla havigito, because if you're going to say that it's not a get, zimnin the honest, maybe sometimes the guy is an einus, and legitimately he's an einus, and it's not going to be a good get for Amra loy honest, and she's going to say, nah, he wasn't an einus, I'm not interested in staying married to him, and she's going to go get married. For Oslo mitzvah, she's going to go get married, and it's a get, but that's always the case, but because of the few ruin it for the many. So that was the concern here. So the Gemara says, is it possible to midaraisa loyli haviget? Really, you're saying that midaraisa was not very loudly crowded. Can you hear me? Can Nilam hear me?
We heard you ask that. That's all we heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, I dialed in because it stopped. It shut me off. I think we're up to me committee. Is that what I lost, everybody? Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure they can. If somebody say something, so I know that we didn't lose you.
Yep, we hear you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I apologize. So is it now again? So what's the Gemara saying? That really, that it's not a get because the guy was an oinus, but we're saying that it is a get. So is it possible? Have a get. So really, it's not a get, and because of the prutzas and because of the tnuas, we're going to be mater neshes ish. So the Gemara answers, yeah, and we had this at least twice in Yavamas that I remember. So we say, call the Mekadosh, the Rabbanon Mekadosh. Anybody who's getting married is doing it based on what the Rabbanon say. And the Rabbanon took away the kiddushin. So the Rabbanon have the reshus to take away the kiddushin, even though midaraisa really. So again, what are the Rabbanon doing here? It's not really a get. They're eliminating the original kiddushin here, right? So, and therefore the kids are not going to be mazerim. So Rashi Tinach Kaddish Bekasto, that's all good if he married her with money. Kaddish Biyah Michael Amema, because with money, then you could say Hefker Bezdin Hefker. Right? So therefore the money was nothing. But what happens if it was Kaddish Biyah? You can't take back a Biyah. Bottom line is they slept together. So Gemara answers, Shavi Rabbanon the Bilas nos. The Rabbanon considered the Biyah nos. And therefore they annul the original marriage, and that's how this is going to work. Fine. So then the Gemara says, then the Gemara says the opposite. So till now we were saying that Rava says that the get from an oinus is not considered an oinus, and she's really midrabanon, she's really considered divorced. So Ikeda Amri, Amarav, some say the opposite. Amarav Chain Linyan Gittin, so also Linyan Gittin, meaning just like for marriage, if it's an oinus, he still has to feed her. So for Gittin, if he says he's going by a certain time and he's an oinus and he doesn't make it, it's still a get. And now we're going to just say all the rayas, but the opposite. So we see that according to Rava, there is an oinus by Gittin. So if he says that this is your get if I don't come from now until 12 months, who makes the and he dies within 12 months, ain't a get, it's not a get. Mace who ain't a get, a get. So mace is not a get. But if he got sick, it is a get. So it's a kasha because you see that a get, being sick is an oinus, and you see that it's still a kosher get. When answers really, if he's sick, it's also not a get. They ain't get lachamisa, and that's exactly what it's telling you, that there's no such thing as a get achamisa. Meaning, if a guy says that the get's going to become a get after he dies, it doesn't work. The Gemara asks, ain't get lachamisa? Hatanale ratio. We already learned that there's no such thing as a get lachamisa, which the Gemara before brought exactly what the case was, but the Gemara doesn't bring it now. The Gemara answers, Dilma lafuke made the Rabbi Seinu. Maybe it's coming to exclude Rabbi Seinu. Who was the Rabbi Seinu? We said that was the same. That was the peasant that mastered the oil. Yeah, fine. So then Toshima me achshav im leibasi mikan v'shem as the Now he changed the terminology. Now he said it's a get from now if I don't come from now until 12 months. Who made and he died within those 12 months. There is a get. It is a get. My love, who adin l'chayla, wouldn't be the same thing if he got sick. Well, that says loy mace, tafka. The loy nichale, the people kamei yavam. No, it's tafka if he died, because he doesn't want his wife to fall to yibam. So Gemara asks Toshima, or brings a raya. Toshima mehu damar lehu iloy asina mikan vat shleishim yoim. If I don't come from now until 30 days, lavi gita, it's going to be a get. Also besides plus in yomin. But if he came at the end of the 30 days with paske mavara and the boat stopped running, so he's there on the other side of the river, screaming and yelling, I'm here. But Lamaisa, he didn't make it there. V'amar lehu chazud asay. He says, look, I'm here. Kamar shvul loishmei masya. That's not called coming to town. Right, so that's not considered coming to town. So my answer is, I said the shchiach shani, and einus that's common is different. The kiman diva leilis nuya. He should have put into the get that if he misses the last boat or something like that, then that's considered as if he came. V'loy asni, and he didn't make that tonight. He is the one that caused himself a loss. And since he's the one that caused himself a loss, so therefore it's his fault, and it's not considered an oinus, and he's going to, and it's still going to be, it's going to be a kosher guest. So that's the other version of Rava. So we have a machlokes of what Rava held by guess, whether an oinus is considered a legitimate reason that he didn't come or not. Fine. So Amud of Shmuel by Yitzchak Loishano. So now we're back to the original din in the Mishnah, that the reason why they got married on a Wednesday is that they can go to beis din if she's not a basula. So Rav Shmuel bar Yitzchak said, Loishano elamit takanas Ezra ve'elach. That's only from the takanas Ezra ve'elach, because Ezra is the one that was mistaken that beis din sits on Mondays and Thursdays. Shein batei din kavu and ela b'sheni v'chamishi, because by Ezra, beis din wasn't kavu only on Mondays and Thursdays. But before Ezra, Shabbat Din and Kavum B'chol Yom, that the beis din was kavua every day. Isha nisas B'chol Yom, so the woman can get married every day. So that's what the Gemara is saying. So it's only because of Takanas Ezra that beis din sits on Monday and Thursday, so you have to get married on Wednesday. But we still haven't yet said why you can't marry. Well, we did. We partially said why you can't get married on the Sunday. The Gemara says, Kalim Takanas Ezra, my dava. Who cares? Right? We once had this. I forgot where. The Gemara is only bringing practical things. So you're saying before Takanas Ezra, so you could have got married every day? Very nice. So you're telling us a history lesson? What's the halacha to be learned out from that? The Gemara says, no, Hachikama, this is what the Gemara seems to say. If there's batei dinim that are around nowadays that meet every day, kakaidim Takanas Ezra, like the way it was before Ezra made a takana, then isha nisas v'chol yom. Meaning, if you happen to have a beis din that happens to sit every day, then you could get married every day. You don't just have to get married on a Wednesday. So the Gemara says, habayin on shakdu. What about the whole shakdu, right? Which we said is shakdu is that they made a takana, right? That you have to give the man 3 days to prepare the suda for the wedding. So you're not going to have that. What happened to that in the days of Ezra, or even if you have a beis din meeting every day? The Gemara answers the Torah, which we're talking about, was he was already matriach himself before Shabbos. Right? Even though we said the other day that he can't do it because they didn't have freezers. Right? They didn't have freezers, so what's the shot in that? But Lamaisa, I guess there was ways for him to at least start things. So come on to beis now. So my shakdu. What is this din of shakdu? The Tanya, why do you say a basula gets married on a Wednesday? Because if he has a tainus basulim, right, that she was promiscuous, he would go up to beis din. That's it. So the Gemara says, so why don't you get married on a Sunday? Because beis din meets on Monday. Right? And if there was a tainus basulim, he would go to beis din. The Gemara says, Shaktu Chachamim Atakanas B'nai Yisrael. The Chachamim had, we said Shaktu means that they were diligent, but it means that, how does that mean? They were busy with, right? They were busy with that. Adam Terech B'Suda Shloisha Yom. They should be busy 3 days before the wedding. Echad b'Shabbos, Sheni b'Shabbos, Shishi b'Shabbos, Uravi. Kohen saying get married on a Wednesday. Umisakon. Then the Gemara starts something new. And once there was a sakana to get married on a Wednesday, Nagu ha'am lichnas b'shlishi. So the minig of the people was to get married on a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday. So the Chacham didn't make a macha, which is very interesting because the people decided to do this. The Chachamim weren't smart enough to do this. There was a sakana to get married on a Wednesday. The Chachamim still didn't change the din. The people themselves changed the din, and the Chachamim didn't make a macha. Right? It's interesting. So the Gemara says, but on Monday they would not let you get married. But if there was an eines, then they would let a marriage on Monday. And they're going to separate the chassan and the kala. Leile Shabbos on Leile Shabbos Tchila on Friday night. Meaning, if the first time they're going to be together is Friday night, they're going to separate the chassan and the kala. Because when he is going to have the intercourse, the first intercourse, it's going to make a chabura on her, and it's going to make her bleed. Fine. So then we'll get back to that. The Gemara is going to discuss that in a couple of blocks. The Gemara asks, "My sakana, what's the sakana? If it is that if a woman gets married on a Wednesday, she should die, right? That's what the Chachamim said. The Nagu, that there was a minig to get married on Tuesday. Lagamri ne'akri. You should be oiker totally, right? For sakana, you should be totally uproot the whole din of Wednesday. Samarabba, the Amri Basula Nisu B'Yamri Tibar Lagmoin Tchila. No, it wasn't a sakana mamish. It was that if any woman getting married on a Wednesday first had to sleep with the hegman, right, the general, whoever it was. So therefore they moved it to Tuesday. Right? So what's the teretz? Meaning since it was not a sakana, so therefore the Chacham didn't feel it was strong enough reason to move it to Tuesday. I have no idea why that would be. Anybody have a pshat in this? I mean, because it's not a sakana, so the Chachamim are not moving it to Tuesday themselves. What do you mean? Well, so is that what we want? We want every girl sleeping with a guy before they get married? Right? How could that be? Okay, so I don't understand exactly. It must be, and then the people decided that they're going to move it. So Chachamim didn't make a macha. Why did the Chachamim move it themselves? Even if it just wasn't a sakana. Right? Okay. So then, but either way, the Gemara has something else. High sakana? That's not called sakana. That's an einus. Right? That's ma'amis. It's a rape. Right? So why are you calling it a sakana? The Gemara answers no. Mishum tznuus. Again, we're getting involved with the tznuus. You got the from women. The master nafshayel because the from women are not going to understand the halacha that they're allowed to get raped. So therefore, they're just going to let themselves be killed. And that's obviously going to come to a sakana. Right? So therefore we call it sakana. So Gemara says, "Religious who die in the shari." So why don't you just tell the from people that it's mutter to sleep with the guy? Yeah. So Gemara answers, "Ika prutzes." No, because you have the prutzes who are going to go beratzen to the guy. That's also going to be a problem. The economy kahanas, and also you have the women that are married to kahanim who are going to be also, because we know kahanim it does become also. Even if she's raped. Then the Gemara says, okay, v'la akre. So why aren't they just taka oiker? Why don't they just uproot the whole Wednesday? My answer is gzeira avida de batla, because the gzeira from the goyim is eventually going to be batul. The takantas the rabbanim become gzeira like akrinon, and we're not going to uproot before a gzeira. The rabban, we're not going to take a rabbanon gzeira and uproot it from a not a gzeira takana from the rabbanon and uproot, and we're not going to uproot it just because the goyim have a rule right now, because the l'chayra is going to be. I'm assuming the pshat is that you're going to have another guy is going to take over, and he may be nicer. He might not cause these problems. The Gemara says, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
What are we talking about? I mean, I don't understand the same way that you don't understand it, Yaakov. What are we talking about here? This Gemara, what's it talking about? Because that's the mice of what you Hanukkah, which was way before there's a Gemara, and they had the same issue.
What do you mean? And they had this. Oh well, maybe. How do you know? Maybe this was at the time of Hanukkah.
No, so that's what I'm asking.
I don't know. I don't know the history. We gotta ask
okay.
on this.
Fine.
On this when this happened, no?
I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, there were different times that you had this, right?
I would imagine so. I would imagine.
Yeah. So, anyways, they want to ask the Yachi b'shlishi nami yasiyubal. Okay, they're going to come on Tuesday too. You think these guys have a thing? If you get married on Wednesday, we're going to sleep with you. You get married on, we're not going to sleep with you, right? So the Gemara answers, "Mistake lo yakar nafshe." No, from a suffix that you see that the guy's taka a little lazy, right? Meaning if they don't move it to Tuesday as an automatic, he's gonna say, I don't know when this lady's getting married, so therefore I'm not gonna leave the comforts of my home just to travel to sleep with a basula, right?
Yeah, the article has a note about the Tuesday and Wednesday thing.
Oh, Uri, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, what are you saying?
The article has a note for Tuesday and Wednesday saying that the specific decree for this for whoever the lord or whatever it is, the landowner, to have the first biyah with the girl was only 4 Wednesdays, because religiously that's when they got married. So it was done because of
That's when the Goyim got married or the Yidden got married?
no, the Yidden got married on Wednesday, so they had to decree that's why Wednesday specifically. So that's why Tuesday wasn't a thing, because Jews didn't get married on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm saying, but why did they need to sleep? Does it explain why they needed to sleep with them dafka then? I mean,
Yeah,
why
because
did the Goyim just...
because it was all based on to uproot Yadus. It's not so because Wednesday was a day that you didn't got married religiously, so that's why this is just what the article says.
It wasn't enough that they wanted to sleep with the Sulas. It's
correct.
shot is because they just wanted to mess with the Yidden's weddings. And why would
Correct.
they mess with their weddings? And
No, but there is such a concept, the night of the Baron. It's not just, excuse me, my radio's on, I'm sorry.
Hello?
I
Anyways,
believe
I'm
the
saying,
concept extended past just to harm Yidden. I think this was a concept in medieval times. The knights and so on, they wanted to have these virgins. This was there are people like that today even, but they
right,
but then there's no difference between Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right.
No, you just messed them up by saying, I'm sorry, she's already a bahula. Oh, it's not interested. It's not fun anymore. That's what I think they were trying to do here.
I hear.
Eventually, the knight or the baron Hegman said, you know what, this is ridiculous. I'm coming all the way into town, and I don't even. So I might as well just stay in my castle. I think that's kind of the approach here, kind of fool them.
I hear. Okay, I gotta try and figure out the history of this. Maybe on the old Daf app, he does history sometimes. Did it discuss about this? I'll have to look.
I didn't see it yet. It's probably there.
Okay. Anyway, so the Gemara answers, he's not going to be oiker himself from a suffix. The Gemara says, but on this Monday, you can't do it. You can't get married. But because of einus, it's mutter. So my einus, what's the einus? That you move it to Monday? If the einus is what we said, right? Meaning because the general is gonna want to sleep with her. Hasam karili sakana. There you call it sakana. V'hacha karili einus. And meaning when it's moving it to Tuesday, you call it sakana. You're moving to Monday, it's called einus. There's soon another reason. Hasam nagu. There it's a minig, and hacha mutter. Right? There's different lashon. There we said in the nagu, the people decided to move it to Tuesday. And here by Monday, we're saying that it's full out mutter to go to Monday when einus. So what's the pshat? Marava, the Amri Sartzava Bali'ir. We're talking about where the general, where the people are saying that the general is coming to the city, right? And what they're going to do is, Rashi said, they're going to steal the meal. They're going to steal. If they find that the Yidden are making a suda, they're going to steal the meal. So if they're coming and then they're leaving, meaning they're just coming through town, and Rashi says means that they're going to leave after Wednesday. So la'akef, to push off the wedding. But meaning if you know that they're coming through town this week, so push off the wedding to next week. Right? So then Gemara says, like, no, they're not just coming and going. They're actually coming and they're staying. So Gemara says, okay, begimel mi aliknas. So then get married on Tuesday. Why should you push it to Monday? Gemara answers, asparva di day begimel kasu. What it means is that his what do you call it? His scouts or whatever, the people that come first, the people that come to do his food prep come first on Tuesday. So therefore, Tuesday's no good either, because if they come there and they see that the food for the wedding, they're just going to steal it. So you got to move it to Monday. The Biyah is saying, or a totally different terror. My machlas einus. What does it mean machlas einus? Because Tanya, like we learned in the Brayta, if somebody's bread was baked, and his meat is shechted, and his yain is already poured, meaning not poured, it's diluted, because back then the wine had to be diluted, meaning we're ready to roll with the meal. And then which we'll see it's going to be specific, that it's after if the father of the chassan died, or the mother of the kala. Machnisin es hameis l'cheder. So what do? Now you have a levaya to make and a chassid to make. So you put the mace into the room, meaning you put the mace away. There's a chasim, there's a kala l'chuppah, and then you bring the chasim and kala to chuppah, onto Amud Aleph. Ubayel bilas mitzvah, and then they go get married and they have relations. Upayrish, and then they have to separate, right? Benoyeg, what? Well, we're gonna get to why you have to separate, because from the gezerah. Then benoyeg shivas yimei hamishta. Then they have sheva brachas. V'achakach noyeg shivas yimei avelus, and then they do avelus. Cholais and ayamim hu yoshin bein hanoshim, and during all those days he has to sleep with the men. V'hi yishena bein hanoshim, and she has to sleep with the women, meaning they cannot have yichud together. Vein mayim tachshitim and akala kol shoshim yoim, but we don't prevent the kala from wearing tachshitim. So what's the case? So how does this answer anything? That's the oinus that we're saying. So if this happens, even though everything is prepared, and you're really going to wait till Wednesday, but no, you don't wait, because you got 2 things to do it. You got to have the marriage and the avelus. You don't want to push off the marriage till the Wednesday. So what you do is you do the marriage right away, and then you do what we just said, and then and that's the oinus, and that would be a scenario where you get married on a Monday. Okay, the next daf is the rest of the daf here is going to continue explaining exactly how this whole situation plays out. Okay, we'll stop here. Sorry about the internet connection.
In Chicago.
And all right, then a good walk.
What time tomorrow? What time tomorrow?